Hello and welcome to the first ever Allthatisshe YouTube video. It's exciting. So for those of you that don't know us, we've been hanging around on Instagram for the past 4 years where we share creative videos and creative images, and most recently we've been doing a little bit of visual content over on there and on IGTV, and it's received such a positive response we thought, why not do more? And why not head on over to YouTube? So here we are. So there's myself, Dominique. I'm probably what you would call the face of Allthatisshe, and I'm the one who's always appearing in photos. I'm doing the storying, replying to comments, DMs, that type of thing. We then have my partner in life and in work, Dominic, or as I refer to him, Boy Dom. Now, Boy Dom is very, very shy, so he does prefer to be on the other side of the camera. So you might see him in some behind the scenes and some vlogs and that type of thing, but 9 times out of 10 he's hiding. So we also have Amelia and Penny, who are our 2 daughters. Amelia's 13 and Penny's 5. And again, you'll see them cropping up in vlogs and sometimes on the behind the scenes as well. And then we have our family pets, Elvis and Bugs, who Elvis is a whippet and Bugs is a house rabbit. So they're a very unlikely pair, but somehow we've made it work. So that is who we are. I guess next would be what we do and how we got where we are today. We mainly and predominantly hang about on Instagram, or we have been doing that for about 4 years now, and we create organic content and sponsored work for brands, and we do sort of like creative images and videos, and we've created quite a few big hashtags on there, so things like Allthatisshe, Sing from the Ceiling, Project Litter Quitter, Objects for Outfits. We were the founders of all those hashtags. So I'm going to try and wrap 4 years worth of work into like 2 minutes. I'm not very concise, I tend to waffle, so I would probably say to go and grab a cup of tea, coffee, or get yourself a drink, because when it comes to me, nothing is ever short. I like to talk. So get yourself a drink and then we'll start that story. Right, let us begin. So 4 years ago, I had just left my job as an outbound sales advisor. So I was working for a call centre here in the northeast of England, and my job was to sell mobile phones. For some reason, all the customers that I called didn't want mobile phones. I have no idea why. That's a lie. I do know why. It was because I was crap at selling mobile phones. I decided to take the leap and leave work, and that was back in October 2015. Our childcare sort of structure had started to collapse anyway, and we were living with my mum as we were in between houses, so kind of everything fell into place and gave us the security to allow me to do that. So I left, and at the time Boy Dom was working as an image manipulation artist, so he is like sort of trained, he was already trained on Photoshop, and that was his job. And it just gave us some time to concentrate on Instagram, and we were kind of finding our footing, trying to decide what our style was going to be, what we enjoyed shooting. And at the beginning of that year, I think we had about 3,000 followers, around January 2016. So we were plodding on, everything was going great, and then in June 2016, one image that we shared, and although this is going to sound completely cliche and trite and a little bit cheesy, it changed our lives. And that is the truth. So this image, it was taken completely by chance. Myself and the two girls, Millie and Penny, were all wearing striped Breton tops. We threw our hairs up in messy buns and stood in a line, or kneeled in a line, in height order, and Dom took the photo. Didn't think anything of it, shared it, and at the time we had about 20,000 followers, and the image itself had gained 14,000 likes. So it was insane, like crazy. It was our first real taste of a viral image and Instagram success. So that was brilliant, and we sort of rode the wave for a couple of days, and then the following week we were trying to think of a new idea, and we decided to go with it again, just change the sort of makeup of it. So the concept and the structure stayed the same, so it was me and the two girls dressed in similar outfits, and this time we added little watermelon slices as our smiles. And the same thing happened. So again, likes went through the roof, another 14,000 likes, followers were flying in, and I think at that point we kind of knew this was something to stick with, and it would be silly to stop that at that point. It was something to carry on with, and we did, and it soon became a hashtag known as Allthatisshe, and 3 years later, we are still posting Allthatisshe images. And by the end of the year, we were on 56,000. 4 weeks later, by the end of January 2017, we reached the 100k mark. Insane. So that was down to Instagram picking up one of our Allthatisshe images for their weekend hashtag project, which then resulted in online publications picking it up, and then print media picked it up, and it got to one point, it's sort of like January 2017, where we just looked about and thought, geez, everywhere we looked, Allthatisshe was appearing, and by the end of the year we ended on 500,000 followers. So like in 1 year we grew by 450,000, which growth has slowed down considerably since 2017. But it has given us the platform and the audience to allow us to do this as our full-time job now. So both me and Boy Dom work on the account, and we do a lot of organic content, but then we also do the sponsored work that allows us to do the organic content, and that is our full-time job now. So for somebody who's worked in an office environment where everything is regimental, you know, your breaks are decided, you leave at this time, you go to the toilet at this time, it's all scrutinised. There is not one day that I don't appreciate that I get to do this and call this my job. I am so thankful, as is Boy Dom. So yeah, and I guess I've got you to thank for that. So thank you so much for all your support over the last 4 years. So that is who we are, what we do, how we got here. I guess it would be a good time to go and do the Q&A and dig a little bit deeper into Allthatisshe. So yeah, I asked on Instagram stories a couple of days ago for some questions for the Q&A, and I've picked out the ones that seem to be cropping up most, or the similar theme. So the first one is, what is the biggest challenge you faced during your social media journey? So this one cropped up a few times, sort of like, what was the biggest challenge as an Instagrammer, that kind of thing. And it was quite difficult because we do enjoy our job. I guess it comes with all the negative sides of being self-employed. So there's no stability. It's quite inconsistent, so you don't know when your next job's coming in, you don't know when the next paycheck's coming in, but that's kind of the same for any self-employed or freelance worker. I think the one that gets us the most is the lack of understanding around our job. So I do know that is very new, and I think, so hopefully over years people will start understanding it a little bit more. How did you and Boy Dom meet for the first time? So this one came up a lot. So a lot of you must like hearing a bit of a love story. It's not a soppy one, so don't get excited. So it started with a Facebook request. So he requested me back in 2009 on Facebook. He had a girlfriend at the time, I had a boyfriend. It was very innocent. We had a lot of mutual friends. He actually knew my boyfriend at the time. And then in 2010 I saw that he was single on Facebook. So because we had mutual friends, I sent a little message along the line to sort of say, this Dominic likes that Dominic. Can you get it together? And we bumped into each other on a night out after this message had been passed along, so he knew I liked him. And I was standing on the side of a dance floor, and he came over, grabbed us, took us on the dance floor, spun us around a few times, and then he left us on the dance floor on my own. And I was just sort of like, so thankfully a group of my friends were already there, so I sort of shimmied over to them and pretended I hadn't just been left on the dance floor by myself by the lad I fancied. And I just assumed that that meant he didn't like us, because to me, people don't leave the people that they like on their own on the dance floor. However, he did message the next day to say he was sorry. And that's kicked off 6 weeks worth of messaging, Facebook and texting and WhatsApping. And it was 6 weeks before he asked me out on a date. I think that would have been sort of end of October. He asked me out, well, he asked me to be official 11th November. He told me he loved me on Christmas Day, and we were living together by the end of January. So yes, it was very fast, and everybody said it was too fast, but you know when you know. So that is the story of boy dom and girl dom. So there was a question actually that asked why I refer to him as boy dom and whether I'm girl dom. So the reason I do that is because his name is Dominic, my name is Dominique. So it was getting quite confusing when I was talking about him on Instagram, because I call him Dom. So when I was saying Dom this, Dom that, it sounded as though I was talking about myself in third person. So I now call him boy Dom, just to show which Dom I'm speaking about. And I don't really talk about myself, but I guess I'm girl Dom. So yeah. What does your typical day look like? So I don't think we have a typical day, which is one of the positive sides of our job. Every day is different. So some days we're working on one project, the next we're doing another. We are getting a bit better at structuring our weeks and being a bit more productive that way. So we try and pencil out certain days for certain projects. So alongside Instagram at the minute, obviously we're trying out YouTube, but then we do have some personal projects. So we try and stick to those on separate days so that we're not just sort of flailing about. And but the only thing really that is consistent is that our day starts at 7 o'clock with a cup of tea and ends at 10 o'clock with a cup of tea. And everything in between, it changes every day. Do you and boy Dom have any training or education in photography, film and editing? Not in the traditional sense. So everything that we know, it has been self-taught. So boy Dom in particular, so he self-taught himself photography and then Photoshop. I think he was 21 when he did that, and he just did that through YouTube videos. I think he found out that you could do that as a job, so like be an imagery toucher or manipulation artist, and he trained himself to do it. And then he took on some really weird free and low paid jobs at the beginning, and he's just slowly worked his way up and improved on his skills as well. But he'll say himself he's still learning every single day. And when it comes to video editing, that it's just we learn on the job. How do you manage the popularity of your account without giving many details of your private life? So I think we're not a very intrusive family, so we do draw the line. I think over the last 4 years we now know what can be shared and what we like to keep private, and I don't have any hang-ups about leaving my phone for a few days or over the weekend. So that's why sometimes a lot of the time over the weekend I either on a Sunday night I'll share a few little snippets of what we've been up to, or I'll just not share it all. What's your favourite book? So one that I think all women should read, and young girls as well, is Caitlin Moran, How to Be a Woman. I read it 7 years ago. and I love Caitlin Moran. She's incredible. So definitely this one. I've also read Kat Marnell, How to Merge Your Life recently, which was quite fun. And I think that's it at the minute. How do you manage finances with the irregular payments of freelance work? Save or splurge? I would love to say that we are savers, but we are not. We do splurge, unfortunately. And how do you get over creative block? I don't think we do. Kind of in the midst of one at the minute. A lot of people ask where my accent is from. So I am from sort of just outside Durham, which is in the northeast of England. And I think from what I know, it's a Marmite accent, so you either love it or hate it. Thankfully, quite a lot of you love it. It's a good thing. So that is it. My first ever YouTube video. Woohoo! So I'm going to say that thing that all YouTubers say now. So if you liked what you saw, then please like and subscribe. Going forward, we're going to be doing vlogs, behind the scenes, more Q&As, just giving you a bit more of an insight into our day-to-day lives. So if you like the sound of that, then please subscribe and please comment, you know, what you thought below and what you'd like to see perhaps going forward. I'm not going to lie, this is probably the 5th or 6th time I've recorded this video. It was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. And it did get to a point where I actually thought, that is it, I'm not doing any more. This is my first and last YouTube video, but I'm sure it'll get easier and I'm sure it'll become more natural. But I might need like a month off to recover from recording this one. I've been a little bit stressed out and I don't even get stressed out. So yes, so thank you so much for watching and I hope you did enjoy it, and here's to our Allthatisshe future on YouTube. Bye!